Gardening can be really expensive, let's be honest. So if you can get things for free or recycle or reuse things in the garden rather than throwing them away and giving them a new lease of life, that's all to the good. So I try and reuse things as much as possible. My neighbour is a painter and decorator, so he goes around to lots of different people's houses, obviously painting and decorating, and he knows I'm a really keen gardener, and we have lots of little chats about the weather and the gardens and what the squirrels are up to. And he gave me a call the other day and said, would you like some plant pots and things? I'm at somebody's house painting and they're getting rid of loads of them, they're just throwing them away. Would you like some free pots? And I went, yes please. And when I went across and collected them a couple of days later, I was amazed. I've got 3 black bags full of pots. Here we go. Got a bag here full of some quite big pots here, which will be great for some fruit bushes possibly that I'm planting. I had a load of trays in here. Be very useful, especially that one. And then I had another bag full here with lots of modular trays. I've already used a couple, and some more modular trays there, and some more little plant pots. And they were just getting rid of them, they were just throwing them away. So I'm going to make good use of those, and they were all free. Here are some more things that I've been recycling in the garden. I actually work part-time in a chip shop. That's what I do, and one of the things we have is all over the place is curry sauces, and they have these curry sauce pots which they just, obviously when they're empty, they have to be got rid of. So I make good use of them and I plant things in them. So here I've got a variety of flower seeds. These ones are planted in curry tubs. That one at the end's doing particularly well. That's calendula. But I've got lots of other little green ones, all different varieties here. I don't grow a lot of flowers, so this is a bit of an experiment this year. And see if I can remember what they're called. That's a different type of calendula. So they seem to be doing really the best. And that one I have no idea. I think that's a calendula as well, but unfortunately with the old sticks, the permanent marker seems to be wearing away. I have some more sauce pots in the greenhouse with salad growing in them. This one's doing really well, and this is Mizuna. And I just reuse, these are bags that are part of packaging, the things that have just arrived to the post or whatever. They could have even been from work, I can't remember now, they're just sort of plastic bags. And I reuse them, try and give them another lease of life with the plastic. And I've been putting the pots in them and just covering them over when it gets cold with the plastic. So they're all stood in a bag. They're doing really well. Ironically, this one, that's just sand over the top there, which I've done with all of them. This was a packet of called Speedy Veg Mix, which was like a speedy salad. That's hardly grown at all, or it's just taking its time. Where the others have done really well. This is another example of using something for another purpose. It was an old bed, under the bed storage drawer, which someone was getting rid of, and it's obviously got a lid, and I've been using it. I've put some plants in here, and then at night I put the lid over the top of them, and it keeps them warm and stops things from eating them, like the mice and stuff. So at night I just pop the lid on, keep the temperature up and keep them safe. And I say that was some relation was just having a clear out of the house and getting rid of bed drawers. one of the other things I have in my messy greenhouse is this huge piece of plastic. We have a local recycling centre in our car park where people can just go and recycle things like newspaper, compost stuff and clothes. There's a clothes bank there and a few other bits and bobs, and people often use it as a dumping ground. And this was there, and it's a massive piece of plastic that a big double mattress was wrapped in with the label on it. It was obviously an old mattress cover, so I put it in the boot of my car and I use it to wrap up more of my plants, because I've got quite a lot here at the moment in the greenhouse. Here we are, more plants, and I just throw this over at night to keep them warmer, keep the heat in. And I say that was just free. I just took it from the it was just dumped on the ground, and it won't be recycled because there's no recycling facilities down there for the plastic. So I thought I'd reuse it and give it a new lease of life in the greenhouse. This crate someone had at their house. They'd had roof tiles in it, or some sort of tiles. I think it was roof tiles in it, and they were going to chop it up and burn it on a bonfire. And I swapped it for some homemade jam, and I'm in the middle of turning it into a compost bin. There, so I've got all sorts of things in there to turn it into a compost bin. And I have some more over here which I acquired, which people were going to chop up and burn, and I've got broad beans in that one. And in here I've got some garlic growing in there. Need to do a bit of weeding, I think. And over here I have another one. It's crates with really good flowers on these now. These are the broad beans I planted in the autumn, and if we have severe weather, I've got these. My husband does some building and stuff, and people throw things away and put things in skips, or I think one of these actually came from a friend who had a new shower unit. She has shower doors, and I put them over the top of the crates to keep the plants warm if there's a really heavy frost. Broad beans can stand a lot of cold weather, but sometimes if we have extreme weather, or if I plant something other than broad beans in here, it's quite good to be able to stick a shower door on there and turn it into sort of a mini cold frame almost, and really keep the heat in. So I'm a bit of a salvager and a recycler, really, but all this just didn't cost me anything, and I try and use it as much as possible rather than just throw it away.